Well, who's on first?
Yeah.
Go ahead and talk. Who? The guy on first.
Who?
The guy playing first base.
Who?
The guy on first.
Who is on first?
What are you asking me for? I'm asking you.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to this episode of Who is on First. Thank you all for listening. Really appreciate it. I'm excited. Spring training has started, and that means somebody's winning the World Series at the end of the season. I'm with Brian. Yeah, right. I'm with Brian and Michael, and I'm Tim. Let's do this. How you guys doing?
I'm good, man. Games are underway. My TV is flooded with 4 blocks of baseball games during the day. I just hope I can still get my work done.
Yeah, right. As it should be.
Olympics are over. It's baseball's time officially. We're good.
Speaking of, let's give a shout out to the United States hockey team, because holy smokes. I just caught highlights of the women's game, and then I ended up watching overtime fully of the men's game. But fun fact, I don't know if you guys noted, did you know that both the Hughes, the brother and the sister, won both of the games in overtime?
I did not know that.
Yeah, so
I didn't
Jack
put that
Hughes,
together. Yes. Now that you're saying that, yeah. But I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
All right.
And then also the nerd in me was paying attention to this, but the last time the men won the hockey team was the Miracle on Ice team in 1980, right? But it was also on February 22nd, which we won this year on February 22nd.
It's meant to be, baby.
It was meant to be 100%.
An instant classic game, all of that. It was great. You got to give a shout out to Hellebuck, the goalie. Yeah. I mean, what a save. I mean, if you just
that guy had at least 5 game-saving saves that were just ridiculous.
I'll trade him for Jordan Bennington straight up right now. They can switch spots. Bring him to St. Louis.
Yeah. Although we want to face Hellebuck in the playoffs. You know, I saw
not after that performance. I was going to say.
Well, hang on a second. My buddy was showing me this the other day. I guess there's a hockey reference, just like baseball reference.
Yeah.
And Hellebuck has it's a Hellebuck or book? It's Hellebuck, right?
Yeah.
He has some of the most disgusting save statistics in hockey, minus when he plays the Blues in the playoffs. He is horrible. Not even just this past season.
He'll be playing for the Blues, so he won't have to play against them, so we don't have to worry about it.
He'll be elite then.
That's right.
Man, it was a great game. That just means, we'll get into this later, but that just means the U.S. has work to do in the WBC.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Weight on their shoulders, extra.
Right. We'll save the WBC for a little bit later, but guys, we're just going to get into and have some fun with some spring training reports. I thought it'd be fun to talk about and overreact to all of the information that we've gotten out of 3 days of baseball, because what else is there to do right now? Because that's all we have. I'm going to start us off with, which one should I go? Yeah, I'm going to go with an ABS situation. So Aaron Judge is 6 foot what? 7, 8?
7.
6'7".
And I was looking up some stuff from the past few years. He's had some of the most horrendous luck with strike calls, or I guess they're balls, but being called strikes in the lower half of the plate, are more so being off the plate. So I'd be interested in what you guys think. I guess this isn't necessarily an overreact, but I was interested in what you guys think if there will be a change in his stat lines and his, his numbers, because he's not going to he's going to be able to get those calls right. So I showed like 12% or something of his strike calls were not actual strikes.
Wow.
So he'll be able to challenge all those. Does he have the right eyesight to know that's a zone, because the strike zone is changing a little bit? I don't know what you guys think about that.
Go for it, Michael.
Absolutely. The fact that guy batted close to 400 for 2.5 months last year tells me that guy definitely has the the strike zone down, and they do just fine. I'd say he'll probably win most of his challenges.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like you said too, though, I mean, it's in his favor a little bit now. And I mean, when you have a guy that is that talented already, any additional favor you add to him could be dangerous. I mean, I know, the park he gets to play in for home there at Yankee Stadium, if he can get an extra pitch or gets dialed into knowing that this is the ABS zone, if I'm a pitcher, I might treat him like Barry Bonds back in the day. I don't care if the bases are loaded or not. You're getting walked, my friend. I'll gladly give up 1 versus 4 any day of the week.
Yeah. Imagine if Mike Trout had the ABS system in his MVP run. Or even you said talk about Barry Bonds and those hitters had that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if Barry Bonds had it, I just don't want to know the numbers that would actually be put up right now.
In reality, he probably wouldn't have the home run count because his walks would have doubled.
Yeah, I mean, like all of those guys, you think about like Tony Gwynn, some of the purest hitters in the game, like just the ability to be able to see the ball, and they would get bad calls called as strikes that resulted. And now it's like, they're like, no, thank you. I mean, you talk about OPS and, all of the extra stats that would be thrown in now for these guys, because they would just be able to dial into their zone. Because that's the thing with the ABS. I mean, yes, it's a main zone, but it's based on like height. Yeah. And so it zooms in. And so I know we've talked about it kind of offline, like Jose Altuve, like, what are you going to do? Like, it's just going to be middle is the only way you're going to get a strike on the guy.
It's a fact. Yeah. It's a good thing he's in his mid to late 30s at this point. He doesn't have the power he had when he was younger.
But I do wonder, like, big picture. I mean, this is the first year. There's going to be a lot of adjustment made. But, like, kind of how, like, with pitchers, you don't really want small pitchers because they have such reliever risk with that height. But are you going to be chasing players that are shorter? Is because they're kind of going to have on paper, they might have a little bit of an advantage with the strike zone, because like if you look, I know it's the complete parallel or opposites, but Altuve to Judge, his strike zone is Judge's strike zone almost looks like the size of Altuve.
True.
And Altuve's strike zone just looks like the size of exactly home plate.
Little leaguer.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So like, our teams going to be chasing, smaller hitting profile, our hitters with whatever profile, just because the strike zone is going to have a little bit of an advantage?
I'd say if you found those little guys that could hit like Altuve has for most of his career, absolutely. But when there's guys like Aaron Judge that exist, I'd say that'll kind of keep things more equal. But if you start seeing the big guys struggling, on a consistent basis, maybe you see more guys that are 5'10" than guys that are 6'4" or whatever. But like right now, obviously, home run plays a huge part in a lot of these teams, what they're wanting to do. So if you get small guys that are delivering that, absolutely. But I'd say currently the way the game is played, there's still room for both on a team. But once we start seeing that shift to more contact, which could happen for sure,
which we're kind of already starting to see.
Correct. You might see, like I said, more of those 5'10" to 6 foot tall guys that are maybe getting a little bit more looks because of it.
Yeah, well, the good news, though, is it's not based like this. I think is good for just the general fan to understand, too. It's not based on their stance. Like they can squat and all that stuff as low as they want. Baseball's already got their measurements from them standing straight up. Like, so Altuve can't like squat down and literally make it, tiny. Yeah. And so it's basically 27% of the batter's height. And so it's like, it starts off at the bottom there and then it goes up to 53%. So, I mean, it's essentially what they tell you in Little League, where it's like the top of the knees to where the names typically are on the jerseys for every player is basically what it is. In that realm, it just does. I mean, you're absolutely right. It does change. I mean, when you think about Jordan Walker, even though, he's not hitting the ball, at least we haven't seen that so far. the idea of that height. There is a little bit more ground to cover. Pitchers are going to have an opportunity to, maybe expand a little bit more, especially with their breaking balls and things like that to get some calls. But the challenge going to be for the pitchers is really the corners.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to get some of those calls that you would just on a generic when the umpire had all the control, because he's going to see the movement and just assume it was a little bit further inside based on where the catcher catches that. And I think I love what MLB's doing with this so far, because it's not every pitch is just automatically. Yeah. So there's still going to be some human element to the game. And so there's still going to be some gamesmanship with it and some fun with it. I just hope they get it right. Like I hope the first one in like the regular season or in a meaningful game doesn't become like this, is it barely grazing the line or not? And then you got to make this call.
Yeah, the shadow zone part is kind of tough because that's happened in spring training so far, but like it's like 0.1 of an inch is touching, and that's the rule. Like if the ball has any touch of that line, but these games don't matter, so there's no emotional involvement. But you are kind of noticing. We have 3 days of games, but you are noticing the trend of like the calls are at the end of the counts, not towards the beginning, unless it's just egregious and the ump, the ump wasn't paying attention. It was like, oh, I guess that was whatever. But like I saw at the St. Louis game today, one of the Marlins hitters, the pitch it wasn't in the strike zone at all, but it got called a strike, but he just left it because the count just didn't matter. And these games also don't matter, so it's kind of one of those things. But I do think I am excited for the implementation of it, and I think it's also good to reference if anybody listening. The strike zone, the previous strike zone, the box that we've had on TV is still the current box that is now the strike zone, but that's not what the umpires' strike zones were. I believe, and Brian, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the umpires based the strike zone on the hitting path of hitters. Also the height of the hitters, but also the angle in which they swing the bat. So like that's why you'll get calls that are a little bit off the plate in a corner because they favor that corner. Like I saw an interesting breakdown with Ohtani's strike zone last year and like what got called strikes even though they were technically balls, but the where he swings the bat and connects at the bottom right half of the plate is a strike to all of the umpires because like he can hit those. That's where he goes for it. So it's like, well, bro,
it's gotta be, it's like it's gotta be a strike. So no, and you'll find like if you look at a heat map, like if you really want to kind of nerd out and go into depth with the strike zone,
that's what we do.
Right. You look at that, and what's really cool is like human umpires, because it's the human element, miss the top 2 corners and the bottom 2 corners the most. And it almost becomes like this oval that's in the middle of the plate, and it stretches a little bit depending on the umpire, those type of things, out to the inside or outside of the hitter. But the nice thing for pitchers is with the ABS, at least on some critical calls, you can go up and in. And if you're clipping that corner on these hitters that like to crowd the plate, it's still going to get called. Whereas a lot of times you'll see a hitter bail, and because the hitter bails, the umpire just assumes it's way more in than it actually is. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out with some good pitchers that have control that can really paint those corners. And kind of like to what you said early on, like I'm looking forward to like bottom of the 9th, guys on 3rd, and a dude gets rung up and then challenges it, and it's ball and it changes the game, or vice versa. It's called a ball and the catcher challenges it and he gets called out, and it's just like all hell erupts after that because that's what's going to happen.
The entertainment point will be interesting because at the end of the day, everybody just wants the right call.
Right.
But there's also the emotional element for fans and for players of like, oh, but it was so good because, we won the game, or a team wins the game because the call was wrong. But we're like, it went our way. That's what we like. But it didn't go your way. The other team fans are like, no, this is the trash. It's the worst thing ever implemented.
It's rigged. It's so rigged.
It's so rigged. I think that probably will become. So I got an overreaction to throw you guys as well. This is for you, all Michael. Right. Do the Cubbies know how to run the bases?
Do they know how to run the bases?
Yeah.
No. I think we all saw that video of probably
Yes.
the sloppiest triple play of all time.
Yes.
Old Rafi Devers, playing first base, doing a
Glove
proper
first
cutoff.
baseman.
Right?
Currently,
right?
he's the best first baseman in the league.
I mean, it is spring training. It's some wild things.
Bregman,
though, of all people.
I know. I guess I'll rebuff back to that. We'll always all remember the Javi Baez, the smartest running play to first base we've ever seen. So
yeah,
maybe it's just a little trickery to get some people.
I still watch
sleeping
that
early.
video because it's like it's a highlight video for it's a highlight video and like a what?
There is a part of me just like the human element. I feel bad for that kid that did that because like that dude was out of the league the next week, and it's like this dude worked his entire life.
Yeah,
made just like this critical dumb mistake, but it's like it's the Pirates of all people. It's like it's not like they were contending for anything, but made like one of the dumbest plays we've ever seen, and that dude ends up overseas because of it. And it's like there's part of me as a Cubs fan is like, heck yeah, dude, like that's hilarious, typical Javi. But at the same time, it's like, dude, that's brutal.
Yeah.
I mean, if anything, if you're a young aspiring athlete that's going to go on, that's why coaches yell at you all the time. Run the play in your head before it happens. 2 outs, you hit it right back to the player. All he's got to do is step on first, and the inning's over, and nothing happens.
Yep.
And instead, you try and run the guy down and throw him out at home plate. Like it just doesn't make any sense. But here we are, little league triple that basically scores everybody.
Yep.
We take those though. What do you guys got a hot take from an overreaction from spring training so far?
What do you got, Michael? I'll save mine for last.
Well, I kind of already give you a little bit of it, but Pete Alonso edges out Aaron Judge for the AL MVP.
What are we thinking? 78 home runs this year for Pete?
He's got to be pushing 80, right?
So, hey, he's in Baltimore. They did move the fence back in. I'm just saying.
Fence is back with all those young guys. Gunner's going to be on the bases in front of him. Like, let's go.
I mean, he's probably still going to hit 40 to 50.
You're not wrong.
Do you think I don't know the dimension difference. Okay, so real talk though.
Yeah.
Because that I do think it's pretty funny because he hit a home run. What was the second at bat? I think it was.
Yeah, first or second at bat.
I do.
Welcome to Baltimore.
I do wonder if he's going to get more because of the park changes from Citi Field to. I'd have to look that up. I don't know, but he's probably still going to get 40 to 45.
Easy. Yeah. I'd give him 50 to 55 this year. Easy. He's rejuvenated, baby. I mean, don't you think? I mean, we're talking overreactions. Don't you think the Orioles win 140 games this year?
Probably.
If you look at that team though, like the way it's constructed, we talk about like the protection aspect of it. If that team looks like they did 2 years ago in Baltimore, Adley's actually hitting. Gunnar Henderson's,
you're talking about the 100-win season?
Might be a 100-win season, and Alonso's going to have a lot of really solid hitters around him, so they can't just pitch around him in that aspect. So, I mean, 50, that's probably within the realm. 80, probably not. But, I mean, Alonso's always been a very strong power hitter. It's just whether he's going to hit for average to go along with it or not.
I mean, think about it though, because like if the old schedule was still here, where you played your division a little bit more, I mean, think about the parks that Alonso is going to get the opportunity to swing the most in. I mean, it's Baltimore, Fenway, and Yankee Stadium.
Yep.
Like all of those are going to be now division rival games for him.
Kind of makes me think Boston's going to get their wish of getting Alonso hitting at Fenway a lot. Just on the other side, the opposite of what they wanted. I do have a hot take to pair off with that.
Do it. Go for it.
With the whole dimension changing thing, the Royals also changed their ballpark to be more hitter friendly, which makes me really think. I did some research, man. When did it get announced? Like a month ago or so. That gives like Bobby Witt Jr. in his, I guess it was 2 years ago when he had his 10+ WAR season. That would give him like 7 more home runs. So which is 2 years ago. So he's 2 years younger. I think was 7 more. I think he gets a 40-40 season in that, in that ballpark with those adjustments. If he hits like he did 2 years ago, like he regressed slightly, but it still was an amazing season.
I don't hate that.
Yeah,
team's going to be better around him. Caglianone's probably going to be, a lot more solid to go along with the pass watch has already, been a pretty solid hitter. They're moving. It's significant. I mean, they're moving it in like 9 to 10 feet. That's a significant amount.
Yeah. It doesn't sound like
Bobby
much.
Witt, but, I could see 40-40 for sure.
Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. So what would that be enough to take the MVP away from Judge? Even with what Kyle Raleigh did last year?
We're
talking it's overreaction. We're talking about MVPs in February.
If that's going to happen, Bobby Witt is going to have to be bordering what we talked about last year, Triple Crown type of realm. If Cal Raleigh if Judge repeats what he did this year,
right?
Cal Raleigh couldn't do it from what he produced last year.
Yeah.
Bobby Witt's going to have to bat 350, 360, going to have to hit between 40 and 50 homers and still probably 50 bags to even compete with the Judge, I would say.
350, 360 is not happening, but
it can happen for Bobby Witt.
I mean, maybe.
With the ABS?
Yeah.
Averages are going to go up.
Because we're not talking he's a Schwarber guy that like a 240 season's a strong year. Like he's an over 300 hitter. So
yeah, no. He's
probably within realm.
I mean, he's all around probably the best player.
I'd agree.
The best.
Complete
him and
player.
Acuna are probably the best 5 toolers, I think, in the game. Except Witt can stay on the field.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, and Acuna might not be in that category anymore because of the injuries. Like I don't say that to be mean. It's just he's
the
2 ACL tears.
The only advantage I would give to Witt over Raleigh is the defensive position that he plays. Obviously, catcher is an important position that adds a lot of WAR value, but Witt's better at shortstop than Raleigh is at catcher, at least last year. I mean, Raleigh won the Platinum, I think, 2 years ago.
2 years ago, yeah.
Right.
So that might give him some more. I mean, he's never going to get the home run total that Judge gets. He's not that complete type of
You're gonna have to have a Judge hitting a 50 homer season, not a 60 homer
Which
season.
He did last year.
For him
he had
to
like
be
52 or something.
Yeah, but do you think there's Judge fatigue now that it's a couple of years in a row?
Year.
No, I mean, yeah, but it's been a few years in a row type of deal where he's there. You wonder if the voters start to get to the point where it's like, all right, he's got his.
Yeah.
And again, it's going to be Bobby Witt's going to have to be close and put a special season together.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I think, like, what if he does, let's just say he does a 40-50 style season, like stuff that you're starting to edge into where nobody's done those type of things. And even not necessarily 350, but let's say he bats 330.
Yeah.
And does that, man. I mean, he's going to get my vote
closer
for
to
MVP.
300.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just a teeter. I mean, Judge has made himself the clear best player in baseball, at least right now. There's no doubt about it in that regard. But Bobby Witt's special. Yep. And so if there's somebody that's going to challenge that run, it's him.
And I'm going to confirm this. I believe he's like 25.
Bobby Witt.
Yeah, he's 25 years old.
Right.
And he's
ridiculous.
A top 5 player already.
Probably
top 5. Yeah, probably. Maybe
all
top
right.
3.
I don't think I don't think that's
oh my
even
God, that's Savant Page.
Top 3 is probably within fairness, I would say.
Yeah.
Just
because the defense at that position.
Yep. Well, he's elite at basically everything he does.
Yeah, I mean,
he doesn't have a weakness.
I think. I mean, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. We're kind of going off a tangent, but who cares? Since with Acuna's defense it's not in decline. He's just not a defensive elite person because he wants to stay healthy. He's trying not to make plays that get him hurt. With him not being in that complete 5-tool package, I think, does that make Bobby probably the only true 5-tool player? Judge is pretty close. I mean, he's a good defender, but he also kind of in the same lines with Acuna. He's not going to make certain plays just because if the Yankees lose him on the IL, they kind of are terrible.
Yep.
The only person I put maybe close to that category as far as because of what we've seen would be Tatis.
I had two. Tatis was one of them. J-Rod would be the other one that I think could be in that category.
I would agree with J-Rod. Tatis is not there yet because, for me, J-Rod has time to still prove that he can be. I feel like Tatis has had time to be like, yeah, I'm this guy, and just hasn't put it together. He could still get there.
Yeah. Right. Well, he also missed an entire season because of the little mix-up.
Being dumb.
Yeah. Little mix-up he had there.
Yeah.
So,
something like that.
Right. You know, made some poor choices with some extra stuff on the side there, but.
Yeah. I agree with you that he has those tools, but to put it together, but J-Rod is an interesting case because I think he's been I think this is his third year in the league if I remember correctly, and he starts off slow every year.
Yep.
If he could somehow find a way, and I mean he's young, man. That kid's 24, I think. If he could somehow find a way to figure that start and slow off season, and he could have that consistent, that is another complete 5-tool player.
I think there's a real chance you could see that this year with the additions that they've had. With Naylor, they're going to have all year if he produces like he did.
Yeah.
Brendan Donovan obviously is a huge bat to pick up in that lineup because they haven't had that type of consistency.
Yep.
You add that on top with Cal Raleigh and stuff. I think Seattle definitely will probably help him from that aspect that he doesn't have to do too much. So you may see more of second half J-Rod earlier in the year now.
Yeah. He's got a lot of swing and misses in his game. If he could get more contact tool, yeah, that'd be another.
Right.
I mean, center fielder and shortstop and the top two best players. Man, that's beautiful.
Yep. And they're both young.
Yep. Yeah. So J-Rod's 25 also, so they're the same age. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
Man, must be nice.
Hey, we're getting there. We're getting there. Just hang in there.
I mean, I'm a Wynn fanboy.
All right.
He's not Bobby Witt.
No, I don't think he is on the offensive side. Defensively, he's 100% elite.
Oh yeah.
I don't have the power aspect or expectation from Wynn on that capacity.
I'm not saying we should. I just that's a beautiful Savant page.
Yeah, but we got a nice 19-year-old that's playing in spring right now. That's might break camp on the team.
Yeah, according to everybody, he is the next Albert Pujols already.
Exactly. That's what I'm just saying.
There's your overreaction.
Yeah. One double has solidified him as the savior of the. It's literally just a double and a walk.
Probably don't even have to take the year off this year. You guys are actually probably going to be competing for a World Series.
Hey, that's
on Twitter, I said something about, or somebody said, like he's the guy that's gonna rescue and I said, hot take, I think, and I really truly do think this. I think he's probably gonna be in the league in 27 at the MLB level.
Sure.
Because Juan Soto came in, I think at 19 or 20, came in really young.
He was 18 or 19 for sure.
Yeah.
There was a guy running me back. He's like, shoot, let's just put him in left field this year. And I said, I'm down if you're down. Let's
right. What's it hurt, right?
At this point, it doesn't really hurt much. I mean, let's be honest. We've done some crazier things.
Who cares?
Right. So that leads me into mine. You ready for my overreaction?
Yeah.
All right. I got you on this one. Jordan Walker's an all-star right fielder.
Oh.
I would say left fielder.
Either one. I don't care. Corner outfield spot. You take your pick. I mean, the dude's batting 500 so far in spring.
My gosh.
He's got a 1.167 OPS. I mean, it's a new Jordan Walker here, and he is not swinging. Yeah, he's not swinging at the slider low and away. I mean, that's going to revolutionize his game right there.
That actually is huge. If he can continue not swinging at that slider.
I told Brian this earlier. I was like, hey, he took a walk.
That's right.
He got to a 3-2 count and took a walk. That is huge.
Boys, I've been there on those swing and miss guys. Like, trust me, you see all the talent in the world, like Javi Baez.
Yeah.
You're just sitting there and you're like, if
PCA
you would just,
right now.
like, not swing, correct. Like, if you don't swing at 1,000 balls that are outside, if you just swing at those ones across the plate, you're an MVP candidate every year because you have everything else that you need. Just don't swing at 40% of the balls that you're seeing.
Absolutely. I mean, to tag it on, Mason Wynn's doesn't have a hit. He's not going to hit.
Oh my gosh, he's probably not going to make it out of Kansas back down to AAA.
No, send him back down.
Right,
we don't have enough shortstops.
Look. The only power profile we got in our lineup right now is Nathan Church.
True.
Jeez.
Okay, for real though, a couple things I am watching. It's interesting to watch Kevin McGonigal and Connor. What's his name? Griffin, I think. Right?
Yeah.
Top 2 prospects. Yeah. Griffin's been pretty unlucky, but had some really hard hit balls.
Yep.
Question: when you guys are watching spring training, what are things that you're going to pay attention to? Because we all agree that stat lines are pretty garbage.
Yep.
Yeah, Jordan.
What do you mean?
I mean, with the exception of proven talent, like I think Judge has got like a 3,000 OPS right now, which it's pretty close. Fair. Pretty close to probably what it's going to be. But I mean, we know he's
going to average a home run per game. So 162 new record.
What are some things that like you're actually paying attention to? Because I have a couple things for me that I like to watch, but like is there numbers or is it like eye stuff for you? You know, like what do you guys pay attention to?
A lot of it for me is eye stuff. You know, one, you kind of pointed it out. I love watching a lot of the young guys that you're like, this guy's not making the opening day roster, but it's kind of fun to see like what may be in the pipeline, not just for your teams, but like these other teams, like seeing some of this talent. It's like, man, if that guy's like that legit, continues to be that legit, this team might be the ace where we're all talking about like this team's pretty exciting. You know, they're budding up in the next couple of years. So I like looking for that stuff. And then some of these vets that make a move, you know, whether it was they just had a rough year last year or, you know, just happens to be a free agent or whatever. So like guys like your boy Nolan Arenado, where I'm
resurgent
seeing him, like, the guy's bat looks different than it did last year. Now, obviously, we have a very small sample size, but you know, it does not. It looks like the guy from a few years back, not the guy we saw last year. That it was like maybe he was just kind of going through the motions last year.
Yeah, I think in his case, well, I think he's going to have a resurgent year because that's the most ex-Cardinal thing to do from the Mo era. But I also think what everybody talks about their off season is like we had the best off season ever. You know, I made all these
100%.
You know, you gotta put it into practice, and spring training, it's fun to overreact to it. Yep. But I do kind of believe a little bit the changes that he talked about making with his bat speed, and you never know. But plus also like that ballpark's going to be a godsend for him.
Oh yeah,
Busch Stadium. I mean, he had his best season of his career there, but he was also surrounded by everybody else that was having their best seasons. And then after that, it just kind of dipped. But he got older. You know, I don't know. Who knows? It's freaking baseball, man.
That's right.
I think he's going to be better. He's surrounded and he's protected better.
Right. It's so weird. But I mean, on the offensive side for me, like in spring, whether it's, you know, the young guys or the new guys, it's just really their bat control, their understanding of the zone, even early on, that they're not swinging wildly at everything. Like I think for me, and maybe because, you know, I'm a little bit more traditional in this sense when it comes to the game of baseball, I want to see how they react. Like part of me loves ABS and hates it because part of me wants to see a bad call and see how they respond and react even in spring training because it's going to tell me something, you know. And as far as like the fielding, things like that, they're doing a lot of work day in and day out that no cameras are ever on them because they're on the backfields in practice. So the defensive side, as long as they're in position, I'm not necessarily looking for them to make every play or to make the outstanding diving plays, things like that. I just want to see the consistency of what they're doing. And as far as pitching for me, as funny as this is going to sound, I don't even really care about command this early in spring. I just want to see that their mechanics, their base is good, that their velocity is at least not full range, but it's at the higher end. Like if somebody comes in and they're throwing 6 to 7 miles an hour slower, I mean, even 3 to 4 miles an hour slower than what they averaged last year, there's going to be a little bit of a problem. And so I'm looking, those are the things I'm looking at. Like today, watching the game, Jojo Romero comes in and he doesn't look good. He wasn't sharp. But everything mechanically looked good. His velocity was there. There was bite on the breaking balls, the cutters, things like that. He just hadn't found that release point just yet, which happens this early in spring.
I actually pretty much the same with pitching. Is interesting. Velocity is something I watch a lot. Like in particular, the first game that it'd be the second game on Sunday. Quinn Matthews got pretty rocked, but he was throwing 96 already, and he struggled last year getting above like 92 to 93. So being this early in spring and being that hot tells you that there's room to grow. As they get warmer. Or as the temperature gets warmer, they get, stretched out more. There might be some more stuff in that tank. And then I'm also looking at pitch shapes because it's kind of an interesting thing with pitchers. Like there's the thought process of we need to practice stuff and see how it comes. Does that pitch shape work? Is it doing? But also you don't want to give everything away. So like Liberatore in particular for the Cardinals added a splitter to his repertoire, and so he's probably not going to throw it a ton, but he also has got to throw it to see what it looks like and see how people see it. So like, what do those things look like? I don't necessarily pay attention to the count in which they're thrown right now because he just wants to see what happens to it.
Well, and the thing you got to remember about that too, though, is if they're unveiling a new pitch that they don't want other teams to get a hold of a lot too, they're throwing it in the live BPs to their own team. They're not throwing it in these spring training games.
Correct. And also, this is the first week, so all of these pitchers have such a short leash right now as they're getting warmed up. So you kind of we have to keep that in mind. For the hitting side, I pay a lot of attention to the exit velocity. Because there is so many pitchers being thrown. I think there was 22 pitchers in our game today, which is crazy. And so many of those pitchers end up having no names on the back and having the same number. So game planning is not a thing, at least towards the tail end of the game, but it can become a little bit of a like see ball, hit ball. So when you see the ball and you hit the ball, are you getting it on the barrel? How's your eyesight this early? Is kind of what I'm paying attention to, but I'm also not overreacting to it too because there's a lot of 90 mile an hour hits, barely 100 mile an hour hits by people that should be hitting 110. But at the same time, they're trying to get their timing down too. Exit velocity for me and zone contact. That's a super nerd stat, but are you gonna hit the ball when it's in the zone? Or are you just gonna watch it?
Well, I mean, to me, that's the eye test too, right? Like how comfortable are they in the box? Does their swing path look good? Those type of things. Like it's not so much about contact all the time. Like, I mean, I want to see them put the bat on the ball, put it in play, those type of things. But if the swing looks good, like again, Gorman looks different to me this year. And now I'm using a lot of Cardinals because I'm focusing in obviously on their games. But like his swing path looks good. He struck out, already. And it's like, oh, that's the same Gorman. We're still going to see a 30-some% strikeout rate. I hope not. But I mean, when he's making contact, he's hitting it harder and he's starting to have a little bit more control with his swing. It's not as wild, in my opinion, which hopefully translates to the swing and miss coming down some. He's never going to be a below average swing and miss guy in MLB. That's just not his game. But if we can get him down from 30 to, let's say, 25 to 27, I'll take that.
Right. Yeah. We're gonna get back to that later because we're gonna deep dive into that. Let's move on. I want to talk about the WBC real quick because we got some interesting info. I just want to get your guys' takes on it. So Tarek Skubal came out and made an announcement that he is only going to pitch one game total in the WBC, and it's he announced it's going to be an early game. Well, I don't know if he announced that. I think the team just set him on the schedule.
That right.
Yeah. So he's going to pitch game 2 or 3 in the pool play against Great Britain, and then that's all he's going to throw. And obviously it's going to be short start because pitchers are still ramping up.
Yep.
But does that change your guys' mind or opinion on the U.S.'s ability, knowing now that Skeens and Skubal were originally thinking they were going to throw the whole tournament? We're only going to get Skubal once. Now, caveat is those pitchers are probably only starting 3 games, ideally,
At
maybe
most.
4.
Yeah.
Maybe 4.
Yeah, I don't even think that. But
yeah, does that change your guys' outlook on it, or is it just, that makes sense?
I mean, for me, I think given what we've seen with the heightened injury aspect of the WBC, it makes total sense.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I hate it, as a competitive side of it, because I think the WBC has something really, really unique to offer the world as far as when it comes to baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, we see with the Olympics, we've already seen with the WBC in the past how much excitement it generates. And so I think it's bittersweet. I don't know if there's a way to make some exemptions as far as for teams where, like, when that is reported, can the U.S. add another pitcher? Maybe allow teams to go a little bit deeper with their pitching, especially their starting pitching staff.
Like so expand the roster more?
Yeah, that way you can get that. Like, I mean, you can say, okay, these 4 pitchers are going to pitch in the round robin aspect, and then we're going to lock it in with these 3 pitchers to get us through the, the one and done aspect of it, I mean, because I look at someone like Paul Skeens, honestly, like the Pirates, I don't think they're going to push on him a little bit because he seems like the guy to me that goes, if it comes down to it and we're playing in the championship, I'm on the mound. I don't care how many innings I've pitched a little bit before.
The, Yamamoto mindset.
Right. No, he's like, I'm going to go all 9.
Yeah, it doesn't really sway me a whole lot because the pitching staff the U.S. has put together this year is worlds better than it was at the last WBC.
Yeah.
So they are significantly deeper than they had been.
So you're telling me they don't want them? You don't want them to call Michaelis again?
Maybe if he wants to go play for like Japan.
Yeah, Japan can call him. That's fine. Korea.
But no, I mean, to me, I don't know what his off seasons looked like, things like that. As far as pitching goes, but maybe we can get 5 innings out of him in that game or something instead of 4 that we were going to get.
Right.
Maybe, just depends what we're going to get. I 100% agree with Skeens because it's like, it's not like the Pirates are playing for a World Series this year. So this is his World Series. He hasn't touched anything close to a playoff or anything so far. Shoot, they can't even win games when he's, giving up less than 2 runs. So he's going to be excited to play with these guys.
What is Judge's defense going to look like in the final?
Don't start. Don't start.
You'll be the judge of that.
Hey, I wish I had a soundbite. That would be cool.
Right.
I do think it means a little bit, but their pitching depth is really, really good. Yeah. I think if you look at the I saw something the other day, maybe it was a couple weeks ago, when you look at the DR's lineup stacked, or you look at the DR's position players to the U.S.'s position players, their WAR value is pretty close. But the U.S., what sets the U.S. and the DR apart is their pitching.
Sure.
And Skubal not being able to go in those, he would have probably only pitched 1 game. I think somebody laid it out that because is there 8 games in pool players or 4? There's only 4, right? 4 or 5, 1 game per team.
4 or 5, yeah.
Then it's 2, 1. Then there's 3 other games after that, so we're talking about 8, I think, games, which means 2 rounds per starter.
Yeah.
So hypothetically, you might have gotten one of them 3 times, but Skeens and Skubal were probably only going 2.
Yeah.
So you're going to miss him for one game. That's not that big of a deal because it's probably 4 innings.
Yeah.
So
Right.
you're going to get 4 innings out of him instead of 8. But it's a bummer. And if it wasn't his free agent year, I think he probably would have done it. If it was last year, he would have done it. I think.
Or, I mean, I honestly think if the Tigers would have come up off of some money and extended him, we're not having this conversation either.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, it's one of those things that, like, you're looking at, and it's like, how much of this is him and how much of it is his agent told him, like, you're not throwing more than one game. We can't afford for you to get hurt going into this year because your value is at peak right now. So if you do anything extracurricular and get hurt, then all these teams are just gonna, devalue everything about you for the next year. Why you can't pitch because you've got whatever going on. So
yeah, I mean, and we've got a ton. Like we really do. When you look at it, we've got a ton of solid pitching. I mean, you're still talking Joe Ryan, Michael Wacha, Logan Webb. I mean, we even added Clayton Kershaw. That I think he's going to eat up innings because he's not necessarily going to be pitching for anybody really in the course of it.
What Skubal really wanted to do is he wanted to give Kershaw a chance to start.
That's what it is, 100%.
I think. Wow, I can't believe I missed that.
Yeah, he's just a gentleman.
Such a nice guy. That's right.
So to me, that's the one thing that we missed here is they need to get Justin Verlander in on this. Since Skubal and Verlander are teammates now, Verlander gets added to the team to take over that other start that he wasn't gonna. Skubal's not gonna give us.
I guess the other news that's worthy of mention with the WBC, the U.S. related, I haven't seen much news aside from Riley O'Brien for Korea. He's going on the injured list probably, and so he can't make it. So they replaced him with somebody that nobody knows, which is fine. And I don't mean that disrespectfully. But Corbin Carroll got put on the IL, so he got replaced by Roman Anthony. Does that do anything for you guys and make any changes, or is it's a good 1-for-1 swap?
Go for it. I like the only thing I don't like about it, honestly, is we lose a left-handed bat.
Yep.
I mean, essentially, that's the biggest thing, in my opinion. That
Roman Anthony's left-handed, though.
Yeah, but I'm here. Let me rephrase it. A solid left-handed bat. We don't like Roman Anthony could be great. Like, don't get me wrong. We know what Corbin Carroll is. We don't necessarily know what Roman Anthony is outside of his potential. Okay. Now, this could be his breakout in that. On that side of it, which I mean, we've seen that. I think that's the beauty of the WBC is some of these no-name-esque or prospect-driven players really get an opportunity to shine and show that they can play the game. So maybe he steps up into that. I'll be interested to see if he actually starts, or do they shift, like Buxton over to left field and PCA comes into center just because of the known commodity. Yeah. And so you do remove a left-handed bat from the lineup. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be removed from the bench.
Yep.
And he'll get some starts. Like, don't get me wrong. They're not going to, especially in the round robin, it's not going to be a blanket lineup, every day. Now, once we start getting into, when it counts, whoever's the hottest, that's who's going to start.
Yeah.
I think from two different aspects. It stinks because Carroll is coming off of an electric year last year. Yeah. And so he probably, was really looking forward to get onto that world stage because Arizona really hasn't gotten onto that stage in the last couple of years, obviously. But for Roman Anthony, I look at it from the same book as Bobby Witt was kind of in his same boat, not necessarily being added late, but being the youngster amongst the group. Mm-hmm. The rest of it's just a bunch of guys that have been in the league for a few years, kind of established. Whereas Bobby Witt, I think maybe had a year under him, which was kind of an underwhelming year. And then the next year, he gets added to the WBC roster. He gets to be around all these pros, these guys that are legit, all-star players. And I think he grew a lot from that experience. So I think that'd be good for Roman Anthony from that aspect.
Yeah, so I was actually going to mention the same thing. I remember in 23 watching Bobby Witt had a really good WBC. He was he was a bench player because he was young, just starting. Yep. Nobody knew who he was aside from the fact that he has his dad's name. But I remember thinking towards the end of the last few games, like, Mookie's not hitting. Why are we not playing Bobby Witt? Because he's hitting like 700.
Yeah.
And I think the same thing. Like Corbin Carroll had a really good World Series in 23 that year, and so with that being the only time we've really seen him in the playoffs, you know, I'm bummed for him in that experience, because I do think, like, who else is going to get to hit with Aaron Judge if you're not a Yankee?
Right.
Having him in the lineup, and Schwarber and Judge in the same lineup is just stupid. And when else are those young kids going to get to have that experience? So I am bummed for that.
Think about the speed with Corbin Carroll and Bobby Witt too. Like, I mean, you're talking two guys that they hit the ball in the gap, especially. They're going to be standing on third without any thought. Like, there's just no doubt about it. And again, no disrespect to Roman Anthony. I think he's going to be a tremendous player. Yeah. I just haven't seen it. I want to see it, and maybe he'll prove me wrong, and I hope he does.
Yeah.
But it's just bummed, because I'm with you. I'm bummed because I really like Corbin Carroll.
Yeah.
And I was looking forward to seeing him in this spot.
You do trade defense a little bit. I mean, Corbin Carroll's a much better defender.
Yeah.
But I mean, Carroll's not the most elite defender, but he's better.
His speed is huge for him.
Yeah. Yeah, he does cover that.
The other thing I thought was interesting was the news came out in the last 3 weeks. Trey Turner came out. You know, he was the World Baseball Classic hero for the U.S., and he said he didn't even get called. Kind of interesting for a guy who's coming off of winning the batting title.
Yeah. Bobby Witt's the best shortstop in baseball.
Don't get me wrong. I'm right there with you, but I mean, it'd be different if we're talking Trey Turner batted 220 last year.
Yeah.
And seemingly there was nothing left there. But the fact that guy turned into like an Avenger at the last WBC and he didn't even get his phone called, you know, that's kind of crazy.
I mean, you make a good point. I'd rather have Trey Turner than, is it Durbin? No, not Durbin. Who's
Turang?
in Milwaukee? Turang. Yeah, I'd rather have
100%.
Turner than Turang. But also, I think if you're going to replace Turang, I think Donovan probably should be the bench bat. I don't think that's a homer take. I think if you look at the player profile and the on base profile, he's good. But he's also a really big advocate for veterans and a big U.S. representative with the military. So I think that benefits that. But I do think it is interesting. Like, Mike Trout's insurance got denied for that. And he also said he was never called anyway. So I do think that's kind of interesting. But Turner had a shot and he did great. Like, he had the experience already.
Well, and I think they're also trying. One of the things they're trying to do is highlight some of these young stars to get them on the global platform. And again, no disrespect to Turner. I think he's tremendous. But when you're talking about the idea of having Bobby Witt as your main shortstop, and then Gunnar Henderson.
Yeah.
As to, like, those are two players that MLB wants to highlight, wants to showcase to the world, because they're bringing the next generation. Trey Turner, he's not old by any means, but he's of that older guard. And you've already got Bregman and Harper, those guys that have a bigger name, especially right now, than Trey Turner on the team. So you don't need to add another one. And again, I love what he did. And I think he's the type of guy that rises in those occasions, no matter what his bat looks like. He's going to show up when it matters most. But right now, I think it's really about showcasing, because honestly, I think that's why Anthony got added. It's another young budding star in the East Coast that let's put him in this spot where he can shine, hopefully, and we get more, global attention on our game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree, because if you think about it, like that group of 4 players or something that they were talking about could replace him. If you look at just from accomplishments, like what the player's done, Stephen Kwan probably should have been the guy who got called. The guy's been an all-star 3 times. He's won a Gold Glove every year he's been in the league, but he doesn't have that big name. He's not from Boston. So, everyone's like, Stephen Kwan. You hear Roman Anthony, it kind of piques your ear a little bit, kind of like Bobby Witt with the last one.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, but Anthony's got a better hitting profile, I think.
We'll see.
Quan would probably qualify, I would imagine, for one of the Asian teams as well. I think he'd probably prefer.
I would have assumed, but that's shame on me.
Maybe not. Maybe
I
not.
am surprised. I will say I was surprised your boy Brendan Donovan did not get called over to ring.
I agree.
I was pretty surprised by that because it's not like we had just last year was the one year that he showed up and was real consistent on both sides. We've got a pretty good sample size. Brendan Donovan is a better player currently than Terang is.
And that position is very utility oriented because he can play second, third, and shortstop, which Donovan can do all of. But I mean, at the end of the day, he's going to have an opportunity to another one.
Hopefully
he's got 2 more years, and thus far you can't see him just flaming out already. But you got to remember
Donovan's older. He's in that slightly older group than some of those other cats. So
I mean,
he end up?
He's 28. He's turning 28.
Yeah, but we're thinking about what we're talking about with Trey Turner. Trey Turner's in that older group. So when that next young cat's coming up for the U.S., are you going to put him or Brendan Donovan, who's playing for Seattle, and is their 5th best player or something at that point?
Yeah. Here's a good point. Let's say J.J. Weatherholt starts to shine. He's a young player that they're promising. They're probably going to pick J.J. over someone like Donovan at this point. If Judge is still doing what Judge is doing, if, Bobby Witt is still doing what, those guys, they're always going to get the nod for the next couple years. I mean, obviously you're going to see the Goldschmidts, the Harper, as sad as it might seem, Kyle Schwarber, they're going to start to fall off that list and they're going to have to be replaced with some of these other guys. And so that's when you look at it like Bobby Witt's going to become that. Aaron Judge is probably going to become the DH on this team in the next couple years, the next couple WBCs, and then you're going to have your right fielders showing up. And Anthony may very well be that guy that becomes that staple for, the next 2.
Yeah.
And I think, as long as Corbin Carroll doesn't get hurt, he might get another opportunity.
Yeah,
sure.
It'd be fun to watch. All right, let's move on. I want to talk about the Cardinals and the Cubs specifically for the last few days. I think it'd be fun or not fun, but let's just break down some stuff that we're seeing. We've kind of covered it a little bit, but I'm going to go, Michael, I'm going to go to you first. Talk to me about your Cubbies and what are some things that you're watching specifically. I mean, it's 3 days with 3 games, but
we've actually got 4.
You've had 4? Oh,
yeah, we've had 4 games.
Oh yeah, because you did Friday.
Yep. Yeah. No, Chicago's been the Cubs. Sorry, have not been spectacular, but I'm not crazy concerned. Keeping a little bit of an eye on your boy Dylan Carlson. He's playing all right now. We kind of talked to at the last podcast that him, Chas McCormick, and apparently the Cubs are now just going to be inviting any outfield free agent to come, try out during spring training. But
y'all signed a new one.
Yeah, we got Conforto today. We got Mark Canna, a bunch of, it's literally just a list of veteran outfielders that got a spring training invite. But
all these minor league contracts, baby.
Might as well hand them out, right? But, I think one of them's probably playing for that 4th or 5th outfield spot right now, or even honestly could be the starting outfielder for us potentially, depending on a couple things with Suzuki, if at DH potentially if Ballesteros isn't hitting where they want him to be to start the year, or if Suzuki started, and obviously that changes some stuff in the outfield. But it's kind of a curious thing to watch. But so far through a couple games, Carlson is not playing poorly. He's actually looked decent. We'll see what happens there. Obviously, not putting too many eggs into that basket, as you guys understand.
Been
pitching,
there, done that.
Yeah. The pitching's kind of an interesting one. So, Jamison Tyone, he typical Tyone, looked pretty rough his first start. Come out in the first inning or something and gave up a home run. But that's kind of what he does. He gives up the early home run and then kind of settles in. And next thing you look up and he's thrown 6 innings and you're like, oh, okay. Well, we got a quality start. You gave up a homer early, but it's 3-1 now and we're winning. So Matt Boyd, I'm kind of loving right now. He's got I think 27 K rate right now. I believe is where he's at, which I'm like, that's not necessarily Boyd's thing, but maybe that benefits the WBC too. So, definitely watching those cats just to see how they're kind of shaping into form. Obviously, like you said, you don't pay too much to stats right now at this point of the year. They're working on a lot of stuff. Like I said, new pitches or even just adjusting grips changes a lot. But if they're out there competing versus this is a guy that, we're in the spring training and he already looks like he's a bit concerned out there on the mound. It's not a great look. You don't love to see that. But Bregman, obviously, he is an interesting cat that kind of we picked up late here, and it's really cool watching him coach some of these young players so far. Watched a ton of video, listened to PCA and a couple of these other guys talk about like they've never really been around a professional like Bregman before. It's like this guy gets it. He's just a hitter and like he understands the game as a whole rather than like, oh, I got to go hit a home run every single time I get up to bat or whatever. Like he looks at it from, the full spectrum, and he's walking some of these young guys through like, take that pressure off yourself, go hit the single or double here. And, that little dinker single, turns into a guy on third base with no outs pretty quickly or, something rather than that home run once every 25 games or something. So, keeping an eye on that. Some of the young guys that are kind of on, I'd say the opening day, are they going to make it? Are they not? Ballesteros, for instance, of course, got to keep an eye on him because of our catcher situation. It's weird. Are they just going to have him up as a DH, or are they going to leave him down for a little bit? Because I don't foresee Carson Kelly getting cut prior to opening day. Now, maybe down the road, Kelly's struggling, Ballesteros is raking, and Amaya's, playing well. Yeah, I could see that door opening potentially just because Carson Kelly's significantly older than the other two. But, currently I'm watching where he's kind of at amongst that group. Amaya's batting really well through his first couple games. He just really misfortunate last year and got hurt in like kind of the strangest ways possible. And literally a guy gets back his first game and gets hurt at first base, blew out his hamstring or something. I was like, what are you going to do? These things happen. So really watching, like I said, I don't foresee Ballesteros being our full-time catcher pretty much in any world. Everything I've read and seen, he kind of projects as a DH. But he could probably be your number 2 catcher in some world. You guys find it hard to believe, but most teams don't want to carry 5 catchers on their roster at all points in time.
We love it. We love it.
I was waiting for it.
So, the Cubs, maybe they have 3 up, but it's, probably more if they try to run with 2 for a while, of course. But we'll see how that goes. So keeping an eye on him. Jackson Wiggins is a really interesting pitching prospect. He's the Cubs' top pitching prospect. So been keeping an eye on some of his bullpens, especially that you've been seeing, and, kind of where he is landing because he's in that kind of weird space. There's a chance he's coming up this year, but there's a chance it gets pushed to next year. They don't want to rush anything. And with the way that the rotation kind of looks right now, they're going to be carrying 5 legitimate starters until about May, and then they'll have 6 with Justin Steele. Not even mentioning a guy like Ben Brown, who's had quite a bit of starting time. So if they needed him for a spot start. So really you're kind of looking forward to the future with Wiggins, but he's one of those guys that they've mentioned several times. Like if he shows out at spring training, there's a chance you see him make that 40-man or the opening day roster potentially to be a bullpen arm for a little bit or something to kind of ease him into the game because they're looking at him probably as, their potential 2 or 3 in the future. So keeping an eye on him a little bit just because obviously coming through the minor leagues, you don't get quite as much exposure necessarily via video as you do, at some of the spring training events and things like that. So
sure.
you can look and you see your stats and you're like, oh, wow, he's killing it down there in Double-A or whatever. But, you don't actually get to see that breaking ball, start at the top of the zone and, break across the left-hander's batter's box. And you're just, that was dirty,
Right.
Kind of exciting stuff. So, and then Matt Shaw, as we kind of talked at the last one, Matt Shaw is getting some time in the outfield, which thought might happen, but Craig Counsell, the Cubs, hadn't officially really come out and said, yeah, we're going to kind of see where Matt Shaw, lands or anything. We may try him in the outfield. We didn't really get any of that until spring training. And, they talked to Shaw about it. How do you feel about that? Things like that. And he talked about, when he was younger, he played the outfield. And when he was coming up, his first couple of years there, he spent some time in the outfield. So it's not like it's a whole new position that he doesn't know anything about, fortunately. But he's a guy that I could see becoming our starting right fielder for sure. But at the same time, what is that learning curve for him? There is a drastic difference between third base and right field, obviously, and playing at an elite level. You can play at a subpar level out there in right field, but the Cubs rely a lot on their defense, much, like the Cardinals have for several years, because they don't have, an endless supply of guys throwing 100 miles an hour. They've got a bunch of guys that, are pitching to contact in the mid to low 90s. So they got to be able to cover some ground, go get those balls that are hitting the gaps and things like that. So, keeping an eye on my boy Matt Shaw to see where he does end up landing ultimately, if he just is the ultimate utility guy or if he is going to be a legitimate right fielder, seeing how much time they're actually playing him out there because obviously with the WBC coming up, things like that, you're going to see a few guys from that outfield are gone for 2 weeks, 3 weeks or whatever. So he'll probably get a little bit more time getting more comfortable out there, a little more rotation and stuff like that. So pretty excited for those guys, but outside of that, I'll see how long the 47 outfielders that we've added stick around. Whether some of those guys are, next week are like, hey, could you just go ahead and cut me so I can go try to make the Rockies roster or something like that. But it's been an interesting spring so far. We're 1-3. Not looked great so far, but
as far as scoring runs in the Central, right?
That's what it means. Ultimately, probably going to lose 120, 130 games. But, there's always next year. Trust me, I've grown up on that. So,
right. I actually think I just had this thought. What if all of the outfielder signings are just for spring training? So there's enough outfielders while all of them are gone in the WBC. And then, close to opening day, they're all cut because it was like, oh, yeah, everybody's back. We're good.
Well, I mean, it's fair because you think about it. The Cubs have Bregman's leaving. PCA is leaving. Suzuki's leaving. I can't remember if Amaya's on the roster or not, but yeah,
I believe so. Yeah,
I believe he is. So it's like, you're talking, they're going to have at least 5 guys. Matt Boyd, maybe they're going to throw an outfielder out there to pitch. Joey Gallo's working on it. So,
hey,
that's a hot take.
Right, there you go. The biggest thing for me, and this would go for both teams, but the Cubs for me specifically is just injury. Because to me, they're relying heavily on their veteran pull this year, and rightfully so. They've got the team, they've got young guys mixed in, but if Suzuki goes down and is going to miss significant time, that does change a lot of things. Does that mean Dylan Carlson is up or one of these other plethora of outfielders alongside of Shaw, who is now, yes, he's familiar with it, but learning a new position. And we both know right field at Wrigley is not a fun place to play.
Brutal.
Yeah. And so it's that, those are the things that I pay attention to because the pitching staff, it does have a little bit of injury proneness to it.
Yep.
And if that really starts to unravel for the Cubs, I want to see how they pivot and rebound because that's going to be the challenge for them. I think on paper, and we've said it multiple times, on paper, there's no doubt they're the best team in the Central. It's just, can they stay healthy and can they get the production where they need it?
Sure.
Yeah. Brian, you got any thoughts for on added to for the Cardinals and what you're watching the last 3 days?
Yeah, I mean, for me, like some of the big things for the Cardinals that I've just really kind of paid attention to is not so much the pitching. I mean, I do like seeing some of the guys, like obviously McGreevy threw today, looked fairly good outside of one bad pitch. I mean, essentially is what it was for him. But again, that spring, I think the thing that I'm paying attention to is almost the same thing. I mean, we've got so many guys that are vying for these, spots, if you will. Like Herrera, is he going to be a catcher? Is he not going to be a catcher? And he's in the same boat because we're going to lose him for 3 weeks and he's going to catch for Panama. And so it's like, what does that look like when he comes back? Because I mean, you got to decide what you're going to do with Pozo, Pajes. You still got Crooks who's taking at bats and swinging. You've already seen Bernal up. I mean, we're seeing, all of our like the primary catchers we have, they're playing in some capacity. Now we know Raniel is not going to be the guy that's like probably breaking camp. He's going to start at best in Double-A this year. And we'll see what unfolds from that. But for me, I think there's an outside shot. If Bernal pulls some things together, I don't know that he breaks camp with us, but I think if he can figure some things out, he could actually steal that catching spot away if Herrera can't perform. And you have someone like Pajes, who we know he's adequate, but do you really just want adequate as your starting catcher? Like that's going to be the interesting aspect, because if his bat's not there and Bernal's hitting, what do you do? Like you really have to start making some decisions. And then I think the big question to me is like, okay, you got Nathan Church, you got Jose Fermin, you've got Baez, who's all fighting for these outfield spots because they're going to get an extended look because Nootbaar's not going to start the season.
Right.
He's going to be on the IL. So somebody's got to play left or right field. And I don't think you want to move Jordan Walker at this point from right field to left field. That's not ideal, trying to get him to learn a new position, because the ball, I mean, a lot of people think right field and left field, oh, it's not that big of a deal, but the ball cuts differently off the bat in both of those spots. So it is going to be an adjustment again if you pull that off. There's a lot of questions. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sold at this point that JJ is going to be on the opening day roster. I mean, the kid's eye is tremendous. I'll be interested to see how the bat continues to play through spring, if it gets more consistent and better. But again, this is the year I thought we were going to have last year. Sure. I thought this is where the young guys were going to get to shine. We're going to get to see them. They're going to get some opportunities because some of the mainstays are going to be gone. And so you're going to get an extended look at some of these young guys more this year than we have. And so for me, it's just, there's the locked in positions, right? Wynn's going to be locked in. Victor Scott's going to be locked in. I'm in the camp that Jordan Walker, at least to start the season, is going to be locked in as your right fielder. Burley's going to be your first baseman. Like, those are things that they're not changing.
Yep.
And so it's those other pieces. Like, they talked today, Sagaci's starting to take reps in the outfield. So it's like they're trying to make Sagaci a right-handed Brendan Donovan.
Sure.
They're doing the same thing with Fermin. They're just trying to create all these utility-esque guys because they just don't really have a solid plan quite yet for that third and fourth outfield spot.
Yeah, I agree. The things I'm watching are a little more specific. So like the velocity of each pitcher's. So I know there's probably 2 positions, maybe 3 that are final for the starting rotation. So what is the other 2? Who are the 2 pitchers? I think we've got like 3 or 4 that could take it. Which pitcher's going to get injured? Because we had the Cardinals had the best luck, I think, in the history of the game last year with no starting pitcher ever getting hurt, which means this year probably half of them are.
Yeah.
With the luck that we have. But I know they're really high on Kyle Leahy. What's his stuff looking like? especially as camp progresses and the innings get
Right.
more. Because right now you can kind of see starters are getting 2 plate appearances, maybe 3. A lot of them are getting 3 this week.
Yeah.
And, as they start to ramp up, you're going to get 4 plate appearances. How many times is the starter as they ramp up going to see the same hitter? So how are they adjusting?
Right.
I thought Michael McGreevy actually did better today than you're saying, Brian, simply because I don't know if you heard on the broadcast, but the baseballs in the first inning were BP baseballs. They weren't coated or anything, so he was throwing extra. What do they call that? Extra cut or whatever.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's kind of like he did make a bad pitch, but it was a BP fastball. Like it was a BP ball.
Right, and that's what I mean. Like it wasn't like I expect that though from McGreevy. What I've seen from him, like he's solid. Right. I mean, he's not an ace, but he's a solid guy.
Yeah. The hitters I'm specifically watching for a few things, like the struggles that they had last year. Did they adjust well? The first round of spring, we're not seeing the same pitcher multiple times yet. But like Victor Scott struggled with changeups. Is he going to be able to hit the changeups? Is Nolan Gorman just going to make contact with fastballs? What's he going to do? Is Jordan Walker going to lay off the sliders when games start?
Yes, he has.
Yeah. The beginning of March to mid-March, when it starts getting like they're seeing MLB starters and stuff more often, and these pitchers are actually participating in a game plan.
Yeah.
That stuff, I do agree. I think weather holds the start. I mean, if you look at the game plan, our lineup plan, it's like starting infield, random outfielders, starting outfield, random infielders. The other thing, we don't have a lot of players going to the WBC, but Herrera is an interesting watch for me because he has yet to play. I do know he's kind of like in the tail end of recovery, but it's only for a throwing arm, so he hasn't even DH'd yet, which I think is kind of interesting. I don't, I'm sure he's hitting on the backfield and everything, but the fact that he's not been in a game, and we'll be 4 tomorrow, so we don't know what the lineup is, but I do think that's interesting. I also think the catching thing is, I'm just a little suspect of it. I know it's important to respect, this is an OOTP. These players are real human beings, and he really wants to catch, and so they have to honor that, and especially with the fact of like they don't feel like he's been given a fair shot. Yeah. But the fact that he can't throw yet, simply because he's recovering, and spring is for warming up and ramping up. If he can't warm up and ramp up correctly in spring, how are you going to throw him in a game right away? So I'm kind of sus of that. I'm not saying he's not going to catch, but man, if you were to tell me that I needed to make a bet, I think it's like 20 games, if I'm being honest, because he can't ramp up correctly right now. Yeah, he did confirm that he won't catch for the WBC. He's only going to DH.
Right.
So yeah, Herrera is an interesting. The not being in the lineup is interesting to me.
Yeah, honestly, the best thing, though, like in an ideal world, would be that everything works out and he does become at least average behind the plate. Absolutely. Like that would be ideal, because then it opens up a DH spot for us and allows us to maybe really give some people a shot or an opportunity to get regular playing time. If he's going to clog that DH spot up, I'm almost inclined at this point to just be like, look, you're going to play left field, or you're going to play first base, and we're going to figure this out. Well, I mean, because at this point, and this is going to sound crazy, but I'm going to say it, I probably trust Burley in left field more than I trust Herrera in left field. So put Burley back in left field and let Herrera play first base. Like that, and to me, that would be like the ideal thing. And then I think the question becomes back to what I said earlier. Is Pages your legitimate catcher? Or can we see someone like Bernal come up? Because this is just a year for that.
Yeah. The other note on that, I think we've not mentioned Crooks at all.
Right.
And he's had a pretty good career in the minors. Every time, every level that he's gone through, he's hit pretty decently. And metrically, he's a defensive first catcher that hits.
Right,
like there's hitting catchers that can catch, then there's defensive catchers that can hit, and he kind of fits that. I think this is an important year for him because there's 5 on the roster.
Yeah.
Bernal most likely starts in AAA. Not most likely. Bernal will start in AAA.
He will start in AAA.
Is Herrera going to catch or not? If he is going to catch, he probably starts opening day, but he's probably third. I would guess third string, just simply because he's our best hitter and he's got to stay healthy.
Yeah.
Pages is a really, really good backup catcher, but he's the vet of the catching tandem.
Right.
But there's a lot of catching decisions to make. I mean, Michael, you said you need a good catcher. We've got a lot of them, and you should tell your people to call our people. But I think Crooks is in this weird position that he's got to make himself known because Bernal is someone that they care about a lot. And if Crooks can't make himself stand out this year and Bernal is ready next year, what's that look like? And then Rodriguez unless they change his position, Rodriguez probably is here next year.
He's not catching.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. He has supposedly his defense is elite. I mean, he's in A+. It's really low right now. And he's really young. What's that going to look like as all the talent gets better?
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I do agree. If you got that bat, man, he's got to play 162, and you can't play 162 behind the plate.
Right.
But I think this is an important year for Crooks, but he's got to prove in spring that, hey, like I'm legit, I can do this. Those are kind of the things that I'm watching. Crooks a lot.
Yeah, I think Crooks, unfortunately, is going to get, as funny as you mentioned earlier, the Carson Kelly treatment.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be a guy that just hovers in AAA.
Yeah.
He's probably going to rotate with Bernal a little bit in AAA. If one of the catchers gets hurt, he'll be the first call up to come and play. But come trade deadline, a team that needs a catcher, if for the right piece, we're going to end up moving him because of the depth that we're seeing coming up.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it just screams the same thing that we did with Carson Kelly. Yeah. We held on to him until Arizona came up with, hey, this is what we need.
Yeah,
we'll give you this, and we made the swap. He became a part of that whole package, which, unfortunately, because I don't think Crooks is a bad catcher. I don't think, in a lot of other organizations, he would probably either be the number one or at least a close two, but he's going to miss out this year, and he's just going to become trade. He's going to be a part of a trade.
I think I don't mind that. I mean, you can't have this many catchers. It's not going to make sense. I think the best case scenario for the Cardinals is Pozo starts and goes to AAA, but I think the worst case scenario is, taking injuries out of the equation. The worst case scenario is Crooks goes to AAA because he didn't do enough in spring to show that he qualified. They're not going to remove Pages. They like him a lot. He's a good defensive catcher. Herrera is
not going anywhere.
Yeah, Herrera's not going anywhere, and he's the priority just because, hey, we told him we're going to give him a shot. He's going to get a legit shot. I think they like Pozo as a bench player.
Yeah, he's marked as a first baseman now, too.
Yeah, so Crooks has got to do something to prove it, which means somebody else has got to go down. So that's an interesting watch for me in the rest of spring. All right, let's wrap this up. We're gonna do something fun. We're gonna bring our old thing back that we did one time.
Our old thing, I love it.
That thing we do all the time.
Yeah, that thing we do all the time that we did one time. We're gonna play Guess That Hitter. I need to make a jingle, you guys. That would be so cool.
Yes, it would. Get on it.
So we're gonna bring up some Savant pages. Each of us have pulled one. They don't know what it is. We're gonna give it the opportunity for people to guess. We're gonna go with mine first, and we're just gonna start at the most basic division. What division are they in? If you can't figure it out right away. So here is, let's see if this works. Hey, it worked.
Look at that.
So this is mine. I'll give you the division unless you want to take a shot first.
I mean, the sprint speed is screaming, and I could be wrong, but it's screaming an outfielder. Am I correct in that assumption?
I don't feel like I can give you an answer that.
Okay, don't.
Yeah, I'll need the division for sure.
AL West.
Okay.
Shameless plug. Sponsor, please.
Hey, there you go. That'd be good. Oh man, I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of speedsters that also are good
Right.
hitters in it.
In the West, I know AL West of all things. With a 330
Angels.
expected average, ended up at 270.
I might get you guys, which I'd be really proud
I
of
was gonna
myself.
say you might.
Because my pool of choices are small because I like specific profiles.
Yeah, I know.
Fair.
That's why it's messing with me. Because all the players I can think of don't qualify.
You want me to give you another clue?
Yeah.
He's an
I need another
infielder.
Infielder.
Oh gosh. AL West infielder. Who's elite on the bags?
Going through them in my head.
When anybody watches this, throw a comment when you first get it.
Yeah. Throw it out there because
Give us a timestamp too.
This is a good one.
Gosh.
I feel like my next
Barrel's not. It can't be. I just don't think he's that fast.
I feel like my next clue will give it away, but so I want to hold it as long as possible.
Yeah, just hold on. AL West, right? You said AL.
AL West, yes.
AL West.
It's the West, right? Yeah.
Keep us the wrong division throws off.
I didn't think he was this fast. I really didn't. Is this Jeremy Pena?
It is Jeremy Pena.
Oh.
Holy cow! Wow!
Wow! I did not see you getting that at all. Great job.
Wow! How'd you get there?
So the batting average. I started there because he got hurt towards the end of the year, and he was for a while. They were talking about him at like MVP level play.
Yep.
And he has the ability. The thing that was throwing me off the most was the speed. I just did not register him with that type of speed.
Yeah.
And that's what I was racking my brain around.
I think now I got to go backwards. If I remember correctly, it significantly jumped. Let's see. I'm going to go to 24.
And I mean, you know how much I follow as a second team, the Astros. So that's where it helped me out. It
was a risky pick for you, but his sprint speed, 96 percentile, 98 percentile, 97 percentile. Yeah, it's up there.
Just underselling him on his ability to run.
Yeah, I think the thing
that
really took over for him is in 22 he had his. I mean, he was the World Series MVP. But he was a pretty decent defender and then went really downhill.
Right.
And this year came really
came back.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, because like I said, before he got hurt, I mean, they were talking about MVP's type of season 100%. For Pena.
Yeah, his contact rate went up really too. His K percentage is pretty good. The chase rate is really bad, but he's a young player also. 28.
Good job,
28.
Brian.
Good job, man.
I got it.
2 for 2.
Woo! I like it.
All right, here we go. This is Brian's.
I think this will be a tough one, but once we start narrowing it down, obviously, I think you'll get it pretty quick.
Yeah. I'm gonna need a clue, unless Michael, you want to give it a shot.
No, you need to give me a division at least.
Okay, so funny enough, it's AL. And it's a Central.
Okay, AL Central team. So the interesting thing is he didn't qualify in sprint speed or arm strength. Is he an outfielder?
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Okay.
Oh gosh, AL Central.
I'm gonna need to make this a little bigger.
Dive in deep, boys.
Base run. Bat value's not great.
Definitely not a Tiger because they swing and miss at everything.
I thought that would give it away.
Yeah.
Honestly. He's who I hope to be when I was, like if I were to look now, this would be the type of player I would have hoped to become. Obviously, it did not go that path for me.
The really poor bat speed is crazy.
Got any guesses, Michael? You look like you're churning over there.
It's churning, but I'm just trying to run through all the teams.
All right, I'll give you another clue. And again, if you're in chat, put it out there. It's a corner outfield spot.
I have an idea. You want me to give it a shot?
Yeah.
Is this Stephen Kwan?
It is. See, good on you, brother. Good on you.
I see, and he's the exact opposite of Pena. I would have guessed his speed was better than that.
Yeah.
Right. It's crazy to think, but I mean, when you look at it, it's kind of, he's so steady.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. You look at his stat line. I mean, he's going to hover right there. Last year, he just continues to do what he does. He's not trying to hit home runs. He's a slap hitter. So I think that's where the bat speed really kind of goes down on stuff like this, because he's not necessarily looking to pull the ball a lot. But the beauty is, I mean, you look at like the chase percentage, the squared up. I mean, dude, when he hits it, he puts the bat on the center of the ball every time.
Yeah.
And that's what's crazy about that. So
he's a better defensive version of Brendan Donovan in the outfield.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah, that's fair.
I like it.
All right, Michael, here is yours.
Okay, man. Whew.
So again, didn't qualify in the values. Nor he didn't qualify really.
But an expected of 330, 266.
It's expected WOBA, by the way, not batting average.
Right.
Oh, no, that's expected batting.
That's batting average there, yeah. Not a good barrel.
He's an infielder, right? Or is he utility?
Utility.
Okay. I'm gonna need a division.
AL West.
Utility AL West.
This screams Tommy Pham in the AL.
I do feel like there's a caveat I need to add here, because you guys are not going to think along this line otherwise. This guy was not in the AL West last year.
But he is this year?
But he is this year.
Oh.
Doesn't even help me, because I'm trying to think, but I forgot who all moved to the AL West. And I'm going to try not to cheat. I'm not going to look up who moved to the AL West.
Where was he last year?
I think that'll give it away.
Yeah, I think that'll give it away.
Okay.
I think that one will give it away.
I know an AL West guy that moved to the NL East that I would have pegged as this guy, but it's not it.
But you're saying he's in the AL West this year?
Now, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And he's a utility guy.
Yep.
AL West utility guy. I think who all moved.
Terrible runner.
AL West utility. AL West utility. Plays for the Angels now, doesn't he?
You want me to give you another funny? I don't know if this will help you get there or not. I think this will give you just enough to maybe run with something. But he's a 2-time All-Star.
I keep wanting to say Michael Talkman, but I know that's not it.
No, because he's not a utility guy.
It's that type of player, though.
Yeah, I see. Like I was thinking, like before he, like obviously he's not in the AL West anymore, but Dubon from Houston who went to Atlanta, it screams that profile to me.
Yeah.
Sure.
You said he is an Angel?
He's not saying, so that makes me want to say it is.
Brian did.
Yeah, I said that. So that's why I said it's making me want to think he is, but I could be way off. Jeez, this is messing with me now.
Batting average is too low. Our expected batting average is too low.
He said he was in the NL last, and he's in AL.
Mm-hmm.
I know who it is. I'll give Tim a second. I know who it is.
No, I'm not picking it up because
I know who it is.
The whiff and K percentage.
The All-Star gave it away because I remember MLB The Show. MLB The Show. It just hit me. I was playing MLB The Show. It's Chris Taylor.
You are incorrect.
Oh!
I thought for sure it was Chris Taylor.
Oh.
Wow.
Chris Taylor's not playing this year, is he?
I don't know if he's playing, but he's on the Angels.
Is this so sprint speed's bad, arm strength is range. He's a utility player. Okay, so I was gonna say Darno, but he's not a utility player.
All right, here it is. Just give me the team. If it's not the Angels, give me the team, since I was wrong.
It's the A's.
That doesn't help me at all.
Michael's got these weird picks, man. 2 times in a row.
I'm telling you, it just messes
This
with
one's gonna
me.
make you
Like,
mad too.
a 2-time All-Star. Oh man, this is just I'm lost at this point.
I didn't watch enough A's games, so. But so you're saying he's on the
Utility
A's this year.
guy.
He's currently on the A's.
Okay, so
Utility
it's not,
guy is. I'm looking at their roster. I'm gonna tell you, I'm cheating. It's got to be Jeff McNeil.
It's Jeff McNeil.
It's got to be Jeff McNeil. That's just looking at their roster. I was cheating.
It's Jeff McNeil.
Who is Jeff McNeil?
Yeah.
Right.
Man, 2 for 2,
right.
Michael. Gosh.
I know. He stumped me twice.
ones.
Right. I never would have put that in a million years.
Although I feel like the caveat of not saying the team he was on in this year was that was a little bit of a.
I did try to help you out there.
You did. Like I said,
I was like, if I just left it at AL West, you guys are going to be naming like all these crazy guys.
I yelled. I thought for sure it was Chris Taylor because I remember him as an All-Star for LA.
That's fair. Yeah.
And he plays all over the place for them. And then but I don't know if he was there last year in LA because I think when Tommy got there, he left.
Yeah.
And got moved. So I don't think it would have been this offseason that Taylor got moved. So.
His All-Stars were 21 and 22, right?
Jeff McNeil?
Yeah. I know 22 for sure.
It was split for him. So he was an All-Star back in 22, and he was an All-Star back in 2019.
Oh, okay.
He had a 5.2 WAR in 19 and a 5.9 in 22.
Okay. With the AL West thing also made me think the other direction I was going, but the utility player took me off. Who's the outfielder from the Mets that's now with Texas? I'm blanking on his name.
I'm not going to lie to you. When I first put this together, that's where my brain went to, and then went, no, really? He's not with them. He's with the A's.
Yeah.
Right.
Might be close to the same. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that wraps it up for this week's episode.
Man. I was going to go 3 for 3.
I'm just proud of myself that I guessed one.
Well, 2 for 2. I guess I know mine, but
Didn't sweep yet. We'll have to do we'll do pitchers next time.
we always tend to try and do hitters, but y'all stump me. I'm not as good with pitchers.
All right. Well, thanks guys for listening to this episode. Hope we make it this far. We will see you in the next one, whenever that is. Maybe next week. Who knows? Because baseball's back, baby.
Let's go.